And so to avoid wasting your time, you need to position yourself properly so that you are doing the most. And the only people that are not going to eat right now are the people who don't want to do the most, because you think that you are entitled, right? Like, oh no, I just closed 10 loans last month, I'm good. I just made bank last month, I don't need to do extra. Right? Yeah, you do, boo-boo. The reason why you need to do extra is because our income fluctuates if you allow it to. And that bank or that money that you made last month, that's just going to dwindle down. And the only true survivors in this game, the true titans in this game, understand that true fact. And so what they do is they never settle. They never actually slow down. And they're just like a machine. So the market's changed. What do you do now, right? That influx of business that we got used to over the last couple of months has somewhat slowed down. Now, you know, sometimes you might think that maybe it's because your company isn't buying leads anymore. Maybe it's because the ads or maybe the leads that you're trying to generate just don't have any benefit. Well, the truth of the matter is it's a few things. Number one is it's the media. The media controls somewhat the perception of our audience, which is of course homeowners and future to be home buyers, right? And so when they see in the media that the rates have gone up or you missed your opportunity to refinance, they actually believe that. Now, one thing though is for certain is that throughout the last couple months, the influx of traffic that we all experienced left us breadcrumbs. And what I mean by that is not every single file converted to a loan or closed, although a lot did. There were plenty that did not. And so now we just got to pay attention to a couple facts that occurred over the last couple months that could very well be gold mines for us. So for example, a fact that recently occurred was the FHA change that where they limited the cash out, right? So if you had an FHA case number that was opened after September 1st, they can no longer do cash out up to 85%. It's back down to 80%. And that was one, you know, huge factor that FHA allowed someone to do, was go up to 85% of the property value on one loan and pull cash out down to 620, sometimes even lower FICO. And so what does that mean? Well, what that means is you can actually look at your LOS. Your LOS is your loan originating system, Encompass, Empower. You might have a proprietary one. And what you do is you just filter out the past applications that were for FHA cash out, with hopes that you find one where you know you had the FHA case number open, but it never went through for whatever reason. They probably didn't complete the application. They probably, you know, never completed the loan. And so that could be a gold mine, because while everyone is waiting for calls, or where everyone's looking for someone who only needs a lower rate in payment, you're actually thinking outside the box, and you're creative enough to actually hunt where the meat is, where the game is. And so why that's important is because we as salesmen need to be very selective with where we invest our time, right? And so where we invest our time is ultimately going to determine how our income is going to be, or how our production is going to be, how we ultimately feed our pipeline. And what I noticed is that, you know, a lot of agents right now are just kind of sitting back and waiting. I don't know why. Like I know why. It's because the feds are having a meeting, and supposedly the interest rate is going to drop, or the market's going to change, as if that is what gives you permission to eat. And I want to be the first one to tell you that shouldn't be the reason why you have to wait, right? Like, you should be hunting right now, because at the end of the day, my message is that they don't buy the rate, they don't buy, you know, the fees. What they buy is the solution. What they buy is the result. What they buy is the protection, or the help to avoid a specific pain, or the help to reach a specific pleasure. That's why we buy things. We don't buy things because of the price. We don't buy things, you know, because of the special. Like that might be like what we, you know, what attracts the attention. But ultimately, what it really comes down to is, if you find yourself just sitting back waiting for the calls to come in, or waiting for some CSRs to pass you over that Mr. Patel that's looking for that 2.5 30-year fix, you might very well be wasting your time. And so to avoid wasting your time, you need to position yourself properly so that you are doing the most. And And the only people that are not going to eat right now are the people who don't want to do the most, because you think that you are entitled, right? Like, oh no, I just closed 10 loans last month, I'm good. I just made bank last month, I don't need to do extra. Right? Yeah, you do, boo-boo. The reason why you need to do extra is because our income fluctuates if you allow it to. And that bank or that money that you made last month, that's just going to dwindle down. And the only true survivors in this game, the true titans in this game, understand that true fact. And so what they do is they never settle. They never actually slow down. And they're just like a machine, because especially those who've gone through that 2008 and 2009 market crash, right? They call it the Great Depression. And I went through it. You know, you may not have. You may be brand new and just happen to come in at the very right time. And so for the last couple months, your first couple months as an MLO, you know, you made bank. And so there's this kind of this false understanding or false conception that it's going to always be like that, and it's not. And the market's going to change, and if you allow these market changes to determine your income, you're going to put yourself in danger of actually imploding, right? You're going to put yourself in danger of having financial stress, because you are living check to check, and you shouldn't be doing that to yourself. So what do? Right? Here's the answer. So what you do is you look at your past applications, you look at your past funded loans, you talk to your sales manager and you ask them and say, hey, you know, remember that one dude, Bobby Jones, who used to work here about 6 months ago? And, you know, can I call his past funded loans? Can I call his old deals? Because no one else is, right? Or, hey, you remember Susie Q? Man, Susie Q she was producing all right. She was closing like 5-6 loans a month. Can I call on her past funded loans because she don't work here no more? That's what you need to do, because those past funded loans, your manager has access to them, and they can unlock that data for you, even if it's just an old 1003. And with that old 1003, you become armed enough to really leverage that information and provide a follow-up service, provide kind of like that mortgage tune-up, right? And so you're just giving a follow call, letting them know that there may have been some changes in the market or in the county that allows them to improve the terms that they were issued or given this time last year or 6 months ago from Susie Q or Bobby Jones, right? And so all you're doing is stepping in, already having all the data and the information that you spend a lot of time grinding for. You have that at your fingertips. And so what does it become? It becomes not an origination, right? Because that's first new business. What it becomes is a recapture. You're just recapturing the business that's already there. So that's one. Number two is you look at your past pitches, you look at your past applications, you look at your CRM and you remember like who turned you down because they thought the rates were going to go lower. Well, now you have a ton of media references that say the market has gone up, the interest rates have gone up, right? And so now you get an opportunity to give them a call back and say, hey, you know what, I just want to follow up with you, make sure that you got taken care of. I know you wanted to wait because you believe the market was going to dip. You know, did you ever take care of that problem? And when they say no, say, okay, good. You may just have this small window of opportunity. You may still have time. Let me help you before the rates go up a little bit higher. And the reason why that's effective is because number one, they already know you, right? Like they've already given you their social. You kind of have somewhat of a relationship. And that's lower hanging fruit than if you were just through blind dial or cold call deals. But if you do have to resort to cold calling deals, make sure that you focus your time and energy towards the audience that needs it most. And the audience that needs it most are those that are paying mortgage insurance, those that are, you know, in FHA loans, those that have debt to pay off, those that have equity, right? Those that have somewhat of a lower FICO score than your prime client. Like if you see a FICO score sub 700, I'm all over it. Why? Is because I know that I can provide a need, and that need is to maybe lessen their debt or create cash flow or to help rebuild their FICO or to, you know, position them long-term for home ownership and protect their finances. That's who I would approach and invest my time towards. I would not invest my time towards, you know, anyone sitting on a 15-year fix at 2.5 with over 40% equity in the home, no debt, 780 plus FICO. I'm not gonna spend my time there because there's no need there. They're good. That makes sense? So the message of the day is, you know, whenever the market shifts or whenever the market changes, don't allow others to influence how strong your hustle needs to be. you need to understand that consistency is king in this game of sales, because most likely you're commission based and you're not there for the hourly. That's if you even do make an hourly wage. But in sales, you have to constantly feed the machine, and that machine is your pipeline. Just imagine your pipeline, some big, huge, hungry dragon, right? And you just gotta feed that bitch all the time, no matter what you do. And the only way you're gonna feed it is if you know how to hunt. So if you wanna know other ways how to hunt and be sure that you're most efficient with your time, your energy, and earn as much as you're capable of earning, then be sure you stick around. Add Sales Remastered to your feed on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Snapchat, wherever you're at, search at Sales Remastered. Chances are I'm there. And if you haven't already armed yourself with the most dangerous script for free that I'm giving away, give yourself that competitive advantage today. Go to salesremastered.com, sign up for the free sales script, use your personal email address that you get on your phone, because you don't want to print it out. It's a lot of ink. And anytime you need it, you just pull it up on your phone. So your work email will bounce it back. So be sure you use your personal email address, your primary email address. And once you get it, see for yourself how easy it makes cold calling and how easy it makes originating new deals for you in any market climate, any market condition. If you guys have any requests for specific topics or feedback that you'd want me to cover on these, on these streams or on the videos that I produce, feel free to comment below. And definitely don't forget to like and share this video with someone who really needs to see it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.